Well, welcome to your Playbook. I'm really excited to have my longtime friend, Robert Tunmire, with us today. So welcome, Robert.
Good to be here with you, Jay. Good
This is
seeing
fun.
you.
I know, it's really good. I was trying to think. I think I was in my early 20s when I met you, probably.
I would think so.
My dad and Don Dwyer were friends, and you
Yep.
were working there. So Robert and Kitty have been married, how long now?
He's 26 years now.
26. And the family has grown. I know.
Yep.
Total kids and grandkids? What do you-
2 daughters, 2 sons, and 5 grandchildren, 4 granddaughters, and 1 grandson.
That's exciting.
Yes,
so
very
great.
much
That's
so.
great.
Well, you have how many?
We have 4 little ones, so 9 down to 1.5.
Yeah.
So it's a good time. They're in Waco, so we get to see them a lot. Yours are there?
Three of them are around Waco, and one's in St. Louis, and one's in Virginia Beach.
Oh wow, okay, yeah, that's a good reason to go travel.
Yes.
Virginia Beach. I really wanted you on the show because they're I say it's about high achievers, but the truth is it's about high achievers who happen to be also my friends. So they're men and women that I really admire. In fact, many of them doing things that I've never done, and I'm just intrigued by that. You've always been a guy I respect and like. We've done ministry together. We did some insurance work together, all that kind of stuff. But I think the friendship was good, some mutual respect. And so, but there's a part of your story, you were with Dwyer Group for years. By the way, were you there long enough to see it become Neighborly, or did you already left?
Oh, yeah. No,
you were there during the Neighborly time.
Oh, absolutely,
I couldn't remember.
yes.
Yeah, big part of that, the transition and stuff. But let's take it back a little bit, way back when you were a teenager. How did you get from 16-year-old kid and living out in the country here and outside of Waco to where you are today? What was those?
Yeah, let me give you just
years?
a touch of the full background. My grandma was born and raised here in Waco. My dad was born and raised here. He quit high school when he was 17, joined the Marine Corps, which back then you could do that.
Yeah.
And met my mom in California. I got married, and I was born in Southern California. I grew up in California and North Carolina, back and forth, back and forth. That's why I have this really weird accent. And we got out of the Marine Corps in 1973. We moved to Waco, to China Spring area, and I started high school in China Spring. Really a small school back then.
Oh, yeah. It was a little country school.
Yes. And just by coincidence, Don Dwyer moved to Waco that same time frame. And his oldest daughter and I were in school together. And we were good friends.
Yeah.
And at the end of the sophomore year in high school, Don had just started this company in March called Guarantee System, Carpet Cleaning and Dyeing.
Okay.
He partnered with someone that had the business out of Florida. And he needed a hand for a day. And Donna knew I worked a lot. I've always worked. And so she gave him my parents' phone number, and it happened to be on my day off. So I went over to where he was at. And one of the things that's really struck me, this is kind of odd, I go over to his office. He says, okay, come with me. And I go out there, and there's this beautiful Cadillac there. Don liked cars.
Oh, yes.
And for me, a Cadillac, I'd never been in a Cadillac.
Yeah.
We didn't have Cadillacs. And so he took me out to the job site, and my job was to be a helper. I cleaned the corner of the carpets, the edges, and moved the furniture. But the thing that intrigued me, he goes, I'm not going to pay you by the hour. We're going to pay you 10% of what we do today.
Really?
And I thought, okay. Had no idea what 10% looked like, but it turned it out pretty good. So at the end of the day, I said, look, if you need a hand, I'll quit my other job and I'll work for you.
You did the math pretty quick and figured out the money was better.
Yes, yeah. Because I was working at the Hickory Stick.
Oh, yeah. Hickory Stick, oh my gosh.
And so I quit my job and started working for him. And after about a month or so, I realized I can do this. I don't need to be a helper. Yeah. I can be a technician. So I went to Don and said, Don, I can do this. He says, you're 16 years old, Robert. You can't do this.
And you're going to school every day.
Well, this was in summer.
Oh, this was just summer, sorry.
This was between my sophomore and junior year.
Okay.
So I bugged him a little bit, and he said, look, you're gonna need a van. I said, no problem. I'll sell my car. I'll sell my motorcycle and get a van. and, a few other little things. So I became a technician.
Wow.
So I was earning before I started back my junior year of high school, probably net $400 a week.
Really?
1975.
Put that in perspective. Yeah, 1975.
It's
That
a
was
lot
good
of money and I turned 17 in August. And back then they had a program in high school where you could go to school half day, work half day.
Yep.
Called distributive education, and you get credit still and graduate.
Yeah.
So I knew I wasn't going to college, and so I got in distributed education. I'd go to school in the morning and go work in the afternoon. And after a couple of weeks, I'm sitting there in class that one morning going, I was making more than that teacher is right now this past summer.
Wow.
I'm thinking, I can't do this for 2 years. I'm burning time here.
Yeah. Yep.
And so I went to Don and said, Don, I can't do this for 2 years. I want to go open up a franchise. He goes, Robert, you just turned 17. You're in high school. I said, I know, but this is what I want to do. So I bugged him a little while long. He finally, okay, talk to your parents. So, and I got to hand it to my mom and dad. I was not an ideal child.
It's a really nice way to say that.
Yeah. The absolute opposite of an ideal child. And I went to him and said, look, I want to quit high school. I need to borrow $4,000. And I'm going to move to Lubbock, Texas and open up a franchise.
So that's where he wanted you to do it.
He said, he said, I'll sell you Lubbock, Texas for $8,000. Give me $2,000 down and I'll finance it. Right. But you need $4,000 for some additional equipment and everything. So my parents went to the Federal Credit Union and put up either their car or furniture as something for collateral, because they didn't have $4,000 cash at the time. My brother was just starting college that year, and so.
But they were fine with you basically dropping out of high school.
Yeah, I mean, mom went to the school and signed me out. It was October, early October.
Wow.
1975. School was really happy.
They didn't miss you.
And I'll never forget driving to Lubbock, Texas, 17 years of age. I owed Dawn $6,000. I owed the credit union $4,000, and I had a $6,000 or $5,000 note on my van.
Yeah.
And I had $500 in my pocket.
Gosh.
And I'm going to Lubbock, Texas. I'd never been to Lubbock, Texas before. And I'm thinking to myself, what did I just do?
What am I doing?
I was scared.
You were all by, it's just you.
Just me.
So was he advertising in those areas? Did you have to go sell door to door?
We put an ad in the Sunday. We used to be like the insert in the paper for TV.
Sure.
And I found a retired older lady and used her home phone number initially. And she sat there and answered the phone for me, and off I went. One of the early lessons I learned, I was 17. I tried to get an apartment, and they wouldn't
let you.
They wouldn't rent me one. So I had to lie about my age to get an apartment. So I just did exactly what I was trained to do, and did very well. Added another technician, so it was myself and one other guy, and I sold the business in May of '76. So 8 months later.
Oh, you sold it then?
Yeah, for $25,000.
Why did you go ahead and sell it for $25,000? I mean, what was the motivation?
Because someone wanted it.
You just figured,
go for it. I'll go do another one.
Yeah.
So I gave Don $4,000 from Wichita Falls, built it up, and sold it for $10,000 in 3 months. I found out that people will pay you for starting a business. They don't want to start it.
They don't want that hard work of the first 6 months or whatever.
And I was getting married, and I wasn't from Texas, didn't want to stay in Texas. I'm 17 years old.
Yeah.
So said, okay, I'm going to buy Eugene, Oregon.
I didn't know that part
so
of the
got
story.
married, and off we go to
Wow.
Eugene, Oregon, and got there in July of '76, and went up there, did really well with it. Decided to come back to Texas in December. Sold it for $10,000. Made good money while I was there. Then we bought Bryan, College Station, Texas.
Oh, okay.
So moved there.
Had it become Rainbow at that point? Or was it
Shortly after, probably about a year after we
Okay.
opened Bryan, College Station.
he shifted to that?
Yeah. And did it very well. And Don had a car wash here in town,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
At the end of
And
Valley
we
Mills?
partnered and built one down in Bryan, College Station.
Oh, okay.
So I had someone that was running my Rainbow business, doing very well. I had like 3 techs and stuff, maybe 4, and did the car wash full time and did very well with it. And then Don, as he started really growing this thing, must have been 1981-ish, 82, something like that. He said, "Robert, why don't you come and work with me?" I'm like, "Well, I don't know. I'm doing pretty good here.
Yeah.
Got my business, got the car wash." But I wanted to know what it was he knew. I figured I'd go work with him full
Sure.
time. So sold my franchise for $100,000 back in 1981.
Really?
Yeah, I paid $4,000 for it.
Sold it for 100.
And sold the car wash. That's a whole funny story. Made a lot of money on the car wash. It was a good business. Moved here and started working with Don in franchise development.
And at that point now you're how old? Early 20s?
Yeah, early 20s. I was born in 58. So I was 23,
23.
24.
Do you ever look back? Because you just think of a 17-year-old kid today. I mean, what you're describing is like otherworldly. I mean, that just doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, it's not something I would suggest someone do.
Yeah, it's not like a prescription for what a kid should do.
Right.
But there's got to be something that what it did for you.
Yeah. Well, I
It
was
was-
fortunate that I was raised with a lot of discipline.
Okay.
And I started mowing yards when I was 8 years old. And when we moved to 8th grade in California, Dad was overseas and I couldn't mow yards there because people did it there and stuff. So I read an ad, found an ad somewhere to sell TV guides door to door, the old TV guides.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So 1 year later, I was delivering 187 TV guides a week.
No kidding.
Yeah, I built it because I wanted to do something.
Wait, back then they didn't mail them to them.
No,
You delivered them,
you either bought them at the store
or someone delivered them.
yeah.
Yeah, it's so people, and this is probably one of the things I've admired about you, that there is this kind of internal fortitude and this sense of work that either because you were wired that way or maybe you needed to. I don't know.
Well, I don't know if you say funny part of the story, good or bad part of the story. So my dad kind of had a philosophy of raising us. He would tell us, "I'm kicking your butt out the door when you turn 18."
That was already part of the story.
So I, in my own mind, and I didn't realize this till years later, you start reflecting back on it. And so I started thinking about, what am I going to do when I turn 18? So from a very young age,
It was already in your head.
in my head.
Yeah. It's
So-
not like you could, most kids are like, a lot of kids you'll hear, "Oh, well, I'll go to college. Oh, if I need to go back home, I'll go back home." But those weren't options for you.
No,
It
was,
just wasn't even an option.
Yeah. So in hindsight, when did I leave home? 17.
Yeah.
He wasn't kicking me out. I'm gone.
Yeah. And there's only a 1 year difference anyway.
Yeah.
So just go for it.
Yeah.
Wow. So you get here and you've been with Dwyer. You're with Dwyer from then on.
Yeah.
Right?
I was,
I mean,
I
there
was
was
there,
never-
and I retired from my career in October of 2019. I was 61 years of age.
Okay. So that whole time there. So talk to us a little, like, I know you were primarily did a lot of work in the franchise sales side.
Yeah.
I'm
Development,
assuming.
but I was also president of Mr. Rooter.
Okay.
Started Air Serv, started Mr. Electric, helped start Mr. Appliance. Dina's husband really was the driver of that one. I was president of the company for 4 years after Don passed away.
Oh, that's right.
And then Dina and I changed roles.
Yeah.
Acquired Glass Doctors. I was president of Glass Doctor for, 5 years or something like that. And still ran the development department.
What did you like? Because there's a lot of similarities between sales and leadership in some sense. You're dealing with people. I'm curious because I feel like I knew you more on the development side.
Yes.
We would talk. But which did you like maybe more, or what did you see? What did you learn from those two tracks? Because those are two very similar, different tracks.
I could run a franchise business pretty well,
Yeah.
I'd say real well. But I think one of the reasons I could do it so well is I could grow them because I could do the franchising.
Yeah. Well, you had started at the ground level.
Right.
You knew every single part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had a real passion for it. I was a product of the product.
Yes. Yeah.
So
you could sell it, but you could also lead the people
yeah.
as well, because there's that
Yeah.
believability about you.
Yeah.
Right.
I believe that the purpose of a franchise is to help people accomplish their personal financial goals.
Yeah.
That's the purpose.
Yes.
The money will be a byproduct of it if you do that. So I like doing both. I would say my passion was franchise development.
Okay.
And I really enjoyed building the team that we had. When I retired from it, we had a team like there's not another team like it in the world.
Oh, yeah.
And the number of franchises we were opening and everything else. So I loved that about it. But God had other plans.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the timing was right. And of course y'all had sold a couple of times.
Sold it
done
4
things,
times while I was there, and
Yeah.
one time after I left.
So it's changed.
It
Yep.
changed. Yeah.
But at its core, when you said what you said a while ago, I don't want people to miss that. Like when they're listening, most people, if I say it's franchise business, you think, well, how much do I make? How much can I make?
Right.
That's a normal question.
Right.
How much does it cost? How much can I make? It's a valid question. But you said something a little different because you said that business is their abilities. It gives them the pathway to develop themselves.
By the way, that was a common question people would always ask you. Well, what can I make?
Yeah.
You know what my reply was?
So what?
Well, how much are you earning now?
Yeah.
And they might say $50,000 a year.
Right.
I says, you'll probably go out and do exactly what it takes to make $50,000 a year initially.
Oh, yeah.
Because what people do,
They replace their income.
They replace their income.
Sure.
And then they'll grow from there if they have the ambition.
Right.
But that's one of the most common things I saw.
Yeah.
If you were making $150,000, you're going to make that business do that.
Yes, you'll just do it.
Yeah.
Out of sheer need.
Yeah.
Just to keep up.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But so then the ambition, the discipline, the desire is going to be that thing that pushes you up. But did you see what you said a while ago, like this idea, do you think that people owning franchise businesses, do you think it helped shape even things about them and otherwise? Than
Oh,
just
yeah.
money?
Oh,
That's-
yeah.
I mean, just,
I think the thing that really made Dwyer Group / Neighborly unique is the first thing we taught in training with the new franchisees was personal goal setting, design your life.
yes. Yes.
And I can't tell you how many people I talk to today that will tell you that changed their life.
Wow.
Because what's the purpose of a business?
Yeah.
To help you accomplish your personal financial goals. Well, if you don't know what your personal financial goals are, it's a little hard to make the business do that.
Right. Yeah, because I think a lot of people disconnect. It's my personal life over here, what I want to accomplish, and then this job, this business is over
Right.
here. But y'all just blended it together.
Yeah.
And because we're, as humans, that's kind of how we are.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just
Yeah,
all
there's
one-
6 areas of life: spiritual, family, physical, which is your health; mental, how you're using your mind; social, what are you giving back; and then financial.
Yeah.
They're all connected.
Yes, they're all connected. And when you own something, it's even more connected.
Yes.
If you have a job, you can sort of leave the job
Yes.
back there. But when you own a business,
But the funny thing about a job, and this is, I don't think people get this that much today. you are always looking for yourself.
Yeah.
I don't care if you have a job
even
or
if it's
not.
a job. Yeah.
Yeah, you working for yourself.
Yeah.
How do you get promoted? Become so valuable that they can't help but give you more.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's like I've heard people say, every job you're working on commission.
Yeah, exactly.
In some sense,
Yeah.
If you're worth more, then they'll pay you more.
Yeah.
And so you got to give value.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. And now when you have their own business, I guess you had people that came in that, what'd you find over the years to be, if you could go out and now knowing everything you knew, what are you looking for? If you could, going back in time, what would you look for?
I would say grit would be definitely one.
Okay.
Determination.
Yep.
And a why.
Mm.
Why are you going to quit your job and go do this? What's your why?
Did you get all kinds of answers? For that?
Oh, yeah.
All over the place.
Oh, yeah. Everybody. Yeah. I mean, my why, what I did, it was probably very different than most people's.
Sure.
But if someone couldn't articulate their why.
Yeah. Their potential for success
goes down.
It goes down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to do what it's necessary. Starting a business is difficult.
Oh, so hard.
I mean, even if it's a franchise, it is. I mean, the first 2 to 3 years is going to be tough.
Yep. Yep. Because I guess sometimes you got people who are technician types.
Right.
Who thought, I don't want to work for the man anymore. I'm going to go start my own deal.
Yeah.
But my guess is over time you found that some of your best franchise owners were not the technicians.
Oh, no, not at all.
It was the people that really understood business.
Yeah.
They wanted to grow and scale it. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
but in the early days, it was a lot of
people buying jobs.
But they're buying jobs. They were tired of working for somebody. They can make a little bit more in their minds.
Yeah.
Or have control over something.
Then over time, a lot of them, became, I just helped a couple, just finished it up in August this past year, brought them into Mr. Rooter originally, and 30-something years ago or so.
Oh, really?
And we sold the business for over $7 million.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow. That's incredible. They just recently sold?
Yeah. I finished it up, I think, last November.
I think what I love, and people don't realize is, like, the Dwyer Group, of course, Neighborly, it's trades, right? It's everything from carpet cleaning to glass, all those things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all those things, and those don't go away, right? I mean, we're always going to need a lot of those skills. I don't know what. Yeah. I don't know if they're AI proof or not. But
they're pretty much AI proof.
I think they're probably AI proof.
I mean,
what you sell.
You go fix that pipe under the slab, or you go replace that window up there, or, it's. I mean, I'm sure over time, AI will creep into part of it, but it's still going to be.
There's still just everyday work that has to be done. And so when I would go see you, and I'll brag on you here in a second, and I tell this story a lot to people. I don't tell it by name, but years ago I came to your office, and there was something you did that said to me a lot about your intentionality. So people ask me about you, I'd say, well, he's highly disciplined. He's very intentional. Doesn't waste.
Focused.
You don't waste time.
You're
focused. You're focused. You don't waste time. I think you told me today sometimes you have lunch standing up, like in between. It's like, but I came into your office, and you may not remember this. And you told me, you said, I've got about 20 minutes. And I remember coming in, you came around your desk, we sat at that round table.
Yeah.
And there were 2 chairs, and while people can't see what I'm doing, you leaned over with your knees, your elbows on your knees, and you just were focused on me. Like, I felt at that moment, man, you are giving me all your attention. And I remember in about 20 minutes, we wrapped up.
Yeah.
And I think you prayed for me before I left, took my hand and prayed. And I just remember that sense of, like, combining both, be expedient, be prudent with your time.
Yeah.
But don't sacrifice the relationship to do it.
Right.
Like,
it's a balance.
Like you were totally for me for 20 minutes and respectful, everything, whatever we talked about. I don't even remember today. Yeah. But I remember leaving, and that's always left an impression on me, because we have this idea that, we got to be casual and take a lot of time. But I think when you're building something particularly, you got to be wise and focused with that? I don't know if that was an accident, but
I heard something years ago that's always stayed with me. You only have control, at least the best you can, worldly control, let's say that, your time and your attitude.
Mm.
Don't let anyone waste either. And no one can waste either without your consent.
It's really good. Yeah. Yeah. They can't waste your time, can't waste your attitude unless you give them consent to do it.
And by the way, most of the things I say, I heard somewhere else, just so you know. So, it's quite all right.
I think we're all kind of like that. I said something the other day and someone kind of looked at me like, did you make that up? And I was like, I don't think so. But I've said it enough. It sounds like maybe something, I don't know. It's okay. So when you, as you seasoned in your career, what, into your 30s, into your 40s, and I know, Robert, that, you became a Christian around 40?
When I was 40, yeah.
Out of 40 years old.
I was baptized when I was 40 years of age, February 28th, 1999.
I remember that. I remember you shared that story. And so obviously that affects your career track. That affects you as a person, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
In that, our faith does. But professionally speaking and all, like, what did you think you became more of, like, in your, say, late 40s into your 60s, like, to retirement? How'd you mature in that? Like, what were you like differently in those years?
I think, I'll tell you a little story. So after I became a Christian, this maybe, I think it was after Kitty and I got married, but there was three girls. They sent me this email and said, we've been praying for you for all these years, blah, 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 blah. And I shared it with Kitty, and Kitty goes, what kind of a person were you?
Yeah, total strangers, all sorts of these people out there praying for you.
And
Wow.
I think I became more compassionate, more caring. I mean, it's like day and night, Jay.
You had to be difficult. I shouldn't say difficult. I don't know this. But I bet there was a difficult side of you if I worked for you when you were in your 30s and 40s.
I was intense.
You had to be intense.
Yeah.
I mean,
Don was not an easy guy to work with.
Well, he had his style and stuff. But yeah, and I think you ran a pretty tight ship. I mean, I walked through there. I saw,
it was
a couple times. You got to mess around.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
But that you're coming into your faith in Christ and growing as a Christian, that didn't temper some of those.
Yeah, I didn't fire people quite as fast.
You still had to fire some,
Yeah.
but you did it nicely.
I did it better, let's say that.
Yeah, no, that's really good. And
I know we were at Run for the Roses event, Providence, big. Yeah. And the guy says, "Hey, I know you. I used to work for you." And like that happens all the time. And he goes, "Yeah, I worked for you in the development." I said, "I don't really recall. Well, I wasn't there but 3 months, and you fired me." Like, well,
should have worked harder those 90 days. No, it's funny. I see guys over the years. I live near Ron Cercio.
Yeah,
Charlie Baker.
Great guy. Yeah,
I think it may have been my brother that you ran into. I think he lasted 90 days.
Yeah,
but no, that is fine. But I think some people, as they see someone in those years, but then you're in your 50s, and I mean, Don is gone at this point, died in 94.
94, right? Yeah.
94. Things were different in those years, growing in different ways. What are things you learned? I asked a guy this one day. I said, hey, when things were small, you could do certain things a certain way. What did you learn as a leader, the role of president of the whole company, in your late 40s and 50s that, I don't know, just...
Well, here's a simple analogy. So when you're starting out, when I moved back to Waco working, your ability to make decisions, very limited.
Yeah.
Everything you got done, you pretty much did through your own hard labor and work. And then as you grow, before you know it, you're in a position where you can make almost any decisions,
Yes.
but you can't get anything done. Everything you get done through someone
Through
else.
other people. Yes. Yes.
And making that transition,
Yeah.
that's where a lot of people don't make it, making that shift mentally and everything else.
Was that a learning curve for you?
Oh, yeah.
It was. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember Don called me in his office shortly after I came back to Waco, and I don't know what I did. But he goes, Robert, you have no empathy. I want you to look it up in the dictionary and you get some. And he wasn't saying it very nicely. Let me just say that.
There were some other things there. Yeah. Get some empathy. Look it up and get some. You knew that, right? I mean, when he said it, did you know what empathy was at the time?
No.
You didn't know what empathy
No.
was?
It's like, okay,
Yeah. What is that? Did you look it up?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still working on it.
You're still looking. No, I mean, and as someone who's known you a long time, and I mentioned earlier that we did ministry. You and I led a Bible study deal on Thursday mornings for a number of years.
We launched the Man in the Mirror Bible study
Just
here.
wonderful time together. All these men
yeah.
that came through, I run into some of them here and there, and it was such a rich time where I think two men who, knew each other because of insurance or things like that,
Yeah.
that now we're doing a different kind of leadership together.
Yeah. It was
Right?
a lot of fun. That
Impacting men's lives, but it did something. It may to you that kind of accelerated you into working with Catholic men across the country, because you took that with Man in the Mirror and y'all have blown that up, right?
Yeah. Well, so we did Man in the Mirror here, and then I became Catholic in October of 2004, and after being Catholic for about a year, I realized there's no ministry to men going on in the Austin diocese. And Kitty and I had an opportunity to have a one-on-one dinner with then Bishop Amon of the Austin diocese. And being the person I am, I had my legal pad all wrote out. I said, Bishop, there's no ministry to men going on here in the Austin diocese. Here's what we need to do. And he said, go do it. Because I knew the model.
Yeah. You knew it would work.
Yeah, so we started, myself and some other guys, started the Central Texas Fellowship of Catholic Men in 2006.
Wow.
And today we've had 14 annual conferences, and we have men gathering on a weekly basis in 48 other parishes here in the Austin diocese.
All over.
Because that's, ministry to men really happens when men are gathering every single week.
Yes.
That's where the bonds and the relationships happen.
When you say that, do you just mean because it compresses it to that weekly as opposed to a conference every quarter
or getting together once a month?
Right.
And plus, if men, we drift real easy.
Sure.
If you keep it on a weekly cadence and a guy misses 1 week, well, he's not going to drift away in a week typically. But if you do it monthly, and he misses a month,
we lose him to something.
Yeah,
that's really good. Yeah. Did Patrick Morley, was he supporting that effort?
Oh yeah,
he was full into that.
Yeah. Pat, all men, whether Catholic, whatever, we're all Christians. I mean, it doesn't matter. Matter of fact, they had written a book called No Man Left Behind.
Oh, yeah.
And I reached out to Pat after becoming Catholic, and I said, Pat, could we Catholicize this book? He goes, Robert, I don't own the book. The publisher owns it. It was some Christian publisher, And he reached out to them, and they said, no, you can't do that. And so Pat bought the rights to the book back from him.
Did he really?
And said, here,
that's how committed he was.
That's how committed he was.
Wow, I didn't realize that. That's awesome.
And we have put out, I want to say, 80,000 of those books at least.
Yeah, there may be more in the hands of now in the recent years.
Yeah,
maybe in Catholics than Protestants. I
probably.
Because I think I just love when I see men like yourself who go, all right, I've worked, I've done all this stuff, I've impacted hundreds of people's lives, thousands through work. But you take that same energy, that same focus, you pull out your legal pad and tell them, archdiocese, to tell the bishop, hey, here's how we do it, and just go for it.
Yeah, and so what happened?
Love that.
Is because of what I did for a living, I had got to know guys around the country and stuff, and some of them had something very similar to what we were doing in the Austin diocese. Not a lot of them. So we talked and we said, well, let's get together and talk about ministry to men in the Catholic Church, and what should we do, if anything, about it.
Yeah.
So in June of 2018, a group of us got together and said, okay, what should we do here?
Yeah.
And we decided to create an organization to get ministry to men going in every diocese in North America. Yeah, which is about collectively 225-ish, 30. And so they looked at me and said, hey, Robert, you got this great franchising background. You got to you got to lead this thing. I'm like, leave my career? What? Yeah. So, but prayed about it, talked to Kitty, and the Lord said, go do this. And so I gave him a year and a half notice almost, because I was kind of instrumental.
Yeah. They needed you. Yeah. At the Wire Group. Yeah. And
then, so I left October of 2019.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I love that. Let me ask you, and we talked a lot about, like, obviously success and the growth of stuff. A word that has meant a lot to me over the years is resilience. I just like the word. Kind of like when you use the word grit. Just like
right.
Strong words. Well, I know you've achieved a lot of great things.
Mm-hmm.
It's successful. It's wonderful. But where have you looked back and really go, man, that was a low point. That was a break point. And that resilience had to kick in.
I can tell you very clearly. So I started doing real estate deals with Don and some other people after I came to Waco. And Don and I had several partnerships together. And they changed the tax laws in 1986. Huh. And you could no longer write off your real estate losses against your ordinary income.
Yeah.
And I think there was an oil crash at the same time.
Yep.
And that's when, remember, all the savings and loans went out of business?
Oh, yeah.
We saw banks close down here that, you would have never thought.
Never think were going to happen.
Yeah. And so all of a sudden, I'm upside down on all these properties. And so next thing I know, I've burned through all my cash keeping them, and started trading deals to get out of them. And that's how I ended up at the place. I traded Don my interest out of a commercial piece of property for that, just to get out of it.
You mean your place?
Where I live now.
Really? You were just doing deals to shore everything up.
Yeah, and I went so far past zero. I mean, really. Wow. I mean, David Alford, he literally, was filling out the bankruptcy papers. And he said, Robert, are you sure you want to do this? It'll stay with you. There's ways to work your way through it. It was really helpful to me. Wow. And so I didn't go bankrupt. I did pay people and all that. But I was driving a Maserati. Next thing I know, I'm driving a Ford Ranger. I was so broke, literally broke, that I had to get a credit card on my mom and dad's account so I could afford to do the traveling that I did.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I was broke.
I didn't know that. Wow.
It was it was a very, very good experience.
Yeah.
Because it taught me not to be so stupid.
Yeah.
And
do you think, though, if you look back on it, do you wonder, hey, if that hadn't happened? We always wonder.
I wouldn't have made the changes that I made.
Yeah, it forced you to make some changes to your life, to your mindset.
My mindset. Like one of the things I learned is it doesn't matter how good it is today. At some point, it's going to be bad again.
Yeah.
You better be ready for the bad.
You better be ready for the bad. Yeah, take care of that. When you've got two boys, two girls, they're all adults and families and stuff. What do you find yourself either having told them or telling your grandkids one day that you might have told them something else 20 years ago, but you've distilled it down. I find this to be my life that I'm thinking, I could give all kinds of advice, things I've learned.
Yeah.
But I get it down to a few. Like what do you want your kids and grandkids to go, that's what Robert told us?
Oh, I got all kinds of weird things like that, I think, number one, set goals.
Yeah.
Set goals. I've taught it all to them. And I'd say that's probably the number one thing as far as keeping your life
focused.
Because even learning to really do that, your worst times will be the average person's best times.
Yeah.
So I think that, and put God first the best you can, because there's times where you want God first, you believe God's first, but it doesn't seem that way. And I think one of the ahas that I had after becoming a Christian is it's not my money, it's all God's money.
Yeah. That is a big one. I don't know if it was you or someone else told me this when they became a Christian there as adults and they had done well. And if you didn't tell me this, you'd probably agree that before you're a Christian, you didn't care what you did with your money.
Yeah.
It was easy. Like you didn't worry about what you did or behaviors or anything.
Yeah.
And so then you become a Christian, everything becomes important. My lifestyle, how I speak, how I act, and my money.
Right.
What am I doing with this money if it's ultimately God's money? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a game changer.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. You become a different kind of steward, different kind of giver.
Yeah.
And y'all are generous givers and do a lot of things. So what does Robert Giddy's life look like in the fourth quarter of life? You're now how old do you say you are?
I'll be 68 in August.
68. So you're in your fourth quarter. I'm getting into my fourth quarter next month.
Oh.
So I'll be 60. I knew you were a few years ahead. What are you most excited about for the next part of life?
The continued growth of heroic men.
Good.
I just, that project will never get done in my lifetime. It's that big.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
Do you like that? The big audacious goal?
Yeah.
It's almost like you're going to die still.
Yeah.
Someone's got to pick it up and keep doing it. Yeah.
But we got a good team, so I work more as an advisor.
Yeah, good.
Than doing so much. And then help our children along and help our grandchildren along.
Good.
And then Kitty and I, as you know, we like to travel.
Yeah.
We got trips booked out to 2000 and something now. And so, continue to do that and do that with the children and grandchildren as much as we can.
Yeah.
And funny, this is going to sound weird. Might want to edit this out. I don't know, but we were on a trip and we met this other couple, and we were talking. Couples, they start talking about your children and how what are you doing wheel wise and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Came up with this other couple, and this says, well, we told them what we were doing. So here's what you ought to consider. Instead of waiting till you're dead, give it to them now, so you can help guide them and watch them enjoy and grow with it.
Yeah.
And so, there was some book, I think, Die With Nothing or something.
There was one like that.
Yeah.
Die Broke.
Yeah,
Die Broke. That's another phrase.
Dying broke is not what I really want to do, but
I mean, yeah. That's a little harsh.
Yeah.
But I've heard people say that phrase, give all your money away now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't sound as good. Let's just say be real generous. That's another way of saying it.
And so we started on that. And it's I would encourage anybody that has children or grandchildren to look at that and think about that. And it doesn't matter the amount.
Right.
Helping them along has really been,
Mm.
and it makes sense when we're dead, and they're older, when's the money more needed?
Right. Yeah. They wait if you live till you're 90, they're waiting around.
Yeah.
A lot's already happened.
Yeah.
And I think it also
And the
allows
thing
you.
I would say too is you don't give your children enough to change their lifestyle. You give them enough and spread it out to help them along.
Yeah. And if you're walking along with them, not with strings attached, but with this sense of like coaching them on stewardship, generosity and investments and those kind of things that really help them. And they'll make mistakes with it, as everybody does. I mean, and I remember my dad used to always tell me, and of course you and my dad knew each other. And he would always say that in life, all too often we're worried about that our kids may value something different than us. And my dad would always tell me, I'm like, well, that's true. They will. Like, you value a good car. They value this. Right. You value whatever. What you care about are the underlying virtues of their life. Right. Like, what are the roots of their life? Yeah. But I do think there's a connection between helping them develop those roots, but also blessing them. Yeah. So they learn how to cope with it. Yeah. Especially if someone knows they're going to leave a lot of money. Yeah. And sometimes that becomes a burden on them unnecessarily. Yeah. If they don't know what to do with it. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. So, yeah. So I think it's great.
Speaking of your dad, he was really influential. He was great. And before the company sold the first time, we were trying to figure out what to do. Do we set up trust and do we do this and all that? And I don't know if I was meeting with him for insurance purposes or something. And we started talking. And he says, Robert, you don't need to mess with any of that trust stuff and all that. Just set up a private foundation. Mm. I'm like, what in the world's a private foundation? And I can tell you that one piece of advice back we sold the company in 2003. So that little piece of advice back in, call it 2001, was if you fully saw the results of that one piece of advice, it is just absolutely astounding.
That's really good. It makes me feel good. Dad got a real passion for that kind of legacies and legacy and the foundations.
We never heard of it before.
I know. And now it's very common, but he really got in. And I think if he continued to do it, but I think if he could look back, he probably wished he had learned about it sooner. Right. And by the way, he's passed along, but if you want me to go ahead and invoice you for a fee for his advice, I'll go ahead and do that. Yeah, I don't know if that probably wouldn't work. Robert, this is fun. I can sit around and talk all day.
Oh, we can.
It's meant a lot to me to talk to people. And I mean this, I have a lot of friends who are high achievers, who I think have achieved far more than me, like in certain areas of their life. And you're one that I look at, who both in your sales ability, we didn't talk about that. I mean, we do some sales training, but I mean, you obviously great, but your discipline, your fortitude. And now I think when I'm seeing you over the last number of years, I'm seeing you kind of post in the middle of work. So I see you now, yet I still see the same man. I think that's important. A lot of guys lose their way when they retire. Yeah. And yet you're still the same kind of man you are.
I think the key to that, certainly before I left my career, I'm going to find the article. There's articles and this guy that wrote it said, change that word to refire.
Yeah, that's good. Refire.
Refire. Yeah. Because the word retire is really a modern word. Right. I mean, name one person in the Bible that retired.
Right. They didn't retire. And retiring historically is like resting, relaxing.
Right.
Doing,
Yeah. No, I mean, God bless you with all these time, talent, and treasures, you think you're going to go sit on a beach and drink margaritas?
Yeah.
That's a waste. Now,
Right.
if that's what you want to do, that's fine.
Right.
But for me, I change that word to refire.
Yeah. I love that. And that happened for you very strategically from 2018, 2019.
Right.
I mean, talk about a refiring. I mean, you got fired up
Yeah.
for this whole new deal. I don't know if you ever heard the story about this man was talking about, like, don't waste your life on trivialities and stuff.
Right.
He tells a story about, he read an article about a couple who were in their late 50s and they spent years and years collecting seashells along the shore. And that was kind of what they did all the time.
Right.
And he said, I just don't want to get to heaven and say, here, Lord, here are all my seashells. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
I want to have done something more
Right.
with my life to redeem the time well.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can pick up a few seashells and go on a fishing trip. But we want our lives to continue to matter.
Yeah.
Like, be high achieving.
Well, I mean, you figure, every breath we breathe is a gift from God. Every day we have is a gift. And, what'd you do with that time I gave you?
Yeah. And our bodies are healthy. You're healthy. I'm like,
Yeah.
let's keep doing it. And I'd rather die tired
Yeah.
than, sit around doing
Yeah.
nothing. Well, thank you for your time, Robert.
That's
fun.
good. Good. Spend a little time with you,
I
Jay.
love this. Is good. And now everybody gets to hear it. And all 8 of the people that listen to it will love it. I don't know. No.
Well, hopefully, if the 8 people get something out of it, it'll be a blessing.
It will be a blessing.
If
Thank
nothing
you
else,
again.
it's been a blessing just sitting here.
That's good. Good stuff. Appreciate you.
Yeah.